Relaxing Mellow High. Yo, what's up? It's someone that's no one, and welcome back to today's report. Today's report is coming from Fiend off Earwood, where he took Tramadol, and here's the full report details. Alright, so here we are finally covering Tramadol. This has been long overdue, but this came up in the report, How My Kidneys Failed and I Almost Died, by Jeremy, where he took Tramadol with pregabalin and soma. But here, I wanted to cover it by itself, and just see what it's like on its own. Tramadol is a weak-acting opiate with effects on serotonin. Typically, it's not the first choice people go for, but it's enough to have some effects. But a lot of the time, it's a last resort, or it might be used to cut another drug. Either way, this report will give us a good look at how it can act, as Fiend here took it at school. So I'm sure you'll enjoy this. Without further ado, let's dive right into it. I started using drugs about 1.5 years ago. My first drug I ever tried was DXM, which remained my drug of choice until I ended up getting addicted to it, so I quit during the summer of last year. I have also used propylhexedrine, Ritalin, alcohol, Flexerol, Dramamine, which was a big mistake. I am 16 and am somewhat thin, so drugs hit me a little harder obviously than it would somebody who weighs 160 pounds and works out all the time. I suffer from social anxiety disorder and mild depression, for which I take Lexapro for, but for the past week and a half, I've forgotten to take it, so at the time of this experience, it was for the most part out of my system. Today, I went into school with an eager mindset. I knew I would be able to get Tramadol today, in the form of Ultraset, which contains 37.5 milligrams of Tramadol and 325 milligrams Acetaminophen per pill. They had been offered to me a day before by a friend of a friend who said he can give me a pretty much unlimited supply. So today, I bought 2 off him eagerly, awaiting what I knew would be fun. I popped them both in my mouth and downed them with some chocolate milk. I hadn't eaten breakfast this morning, but I'd just eaten a small can of Pringles. After only about 10 minutes, I noticed I was a bit calmer and my feet were slightly tingly. After another 20 minutes or so, I had to go to my next class, which was science. By the time I got in there, I was feeling pretty good. My heart was beating a little faster. My lower body had a nice tingly feeling that feels similar to nitrous, and I was very relaxed. I remained this way throughout class. An hour and a half later, I think, is when I come to the peak, which was the start of my next class. We sat and watched a movie the whole time, and I was feeling so good. People were laughing really loud behind me, so I couldn't hear the movie, which is something that would usually send me flying into a rage, but I just sat there thinking, it's all good. I'm usually very jittery with anxiety and have bad thoughts on my mind, so this is something that can work wonders for that. I can see how people find opiates addictive. On the walk to the bus, I could feel I was walking a little funny, sort of like I weigh less. Not as strong as the weightless feeling DXM gives, but it's still there. On the bus, I couldn't stop talking to my friend, and when I got off the bus, I was slightly disappointed because talking seemed to add to the euphoria. I walked up the hill to my house with a smile on my face, without a care in the world. So I sit here now. The effect's not quite as strong, but I'm still feeling quite good. I experienced no side effects the whole time, like nausea or cramps, like some people note. It also did not cloud my mind at all. I could think just fine the whole time. All in all, I was quite pleased with the experience, but I can also see how these are addictive. In a way, it sort of bothers me that people are out there using stuff like heroin, when this is much milder, less dangerous, and is very similar. I really don't feel the need to increase the dose, except for maybe one more pill when I really want to relax. I'm already wanting more, not physically, but mentally, so I'll be sure to be careful with this stuff and use it once a week at the very most to avoid addiction.